Beloved by birders and nature lovers, the iconic Atlantic puffins are one of the most widely recognized birds of the northern coastal waters. With a colorful bill that seems too perfectly painted to be real, puffins have a photogenic, cartoon-like appeal. So on a recent trip to Maine in late May, a seagoing Puffin and Wildlife tour was the highest priority on my list of things to do. Puffins spend 8 months of the year far from land, bobbing around the cold sea and hunting for fish, and only come to land to mate and nest from May through August. And a few Maine sea islands are the only place you can see them in the States. And there really is only one place you can see them up close from a blind while standing on land, and that is at Machias Seal Island through special tours limited to around 15 people. And they sold out all the 2022 dates in January as soon as bookings opened. So you need to plan early for that once-in-a-lifetime experience, and maybe some other time. So since I was camping in Acadia National Park, I booked a Puffin and Wildlife tour out of Bar Harbor run by Acadian Boat Tours, which includes some Lighthouse stops on the way out and back, and lasts about 3.5 hours at a very reasonable $55. Well, I have to say they delivered on the puffin viewing for me. Anything more than that was a bonus. The target was Petite Manan Island, where there's a research station. Obviously the tour boats have to be respectful and not stress or pressure the puffins while breeding. So the captain gave us about 30 minutes of puffin watching while idling about 50 to 100 yards from several hundred puffins who were feeding at this time in the late morning, and virtually none were on land at this time. I decided not to bring my SLR with big lens due to weather and the hassle, but brought along the trusty Canon SX70, which has plenty of power to bring the birds in close. However, filming without gyros or Steadicam equipment is much more difficult than shooting photos which freeze the motion. It was cold and cloudy and rough. You get what you get with the weather in Maine in May. The boat was rocking up and down, and the puffins were rocking up and down. And it said, don't make excuses, just make films. So there's a mixture of video and stills that follow, of varying quality. Although the SX70 could fill a 4K video frame with a single puffin at this relatively close range for super telephotos, there was no way to hold steady, zoomed in so close, so backing off a bit was prudent. Otherwise you'd all get seasick watching my videos, and you may get a little queasy anyway. There were quite a few razorbills mixed in with the puffins as well, and that's a subject for another video. Here are a few background facts about these amazing birds. Puffins only possess technicolor striped bills and their matching orange feet during the breeding season. Just before winter sets in, they molt at sea and shed the colorful outer bill, leaving a noticeably smaller and duller colored beak. They also lose the black markings around their eyes in the process. The face, beaks, and feet of young puffins are gray. A puffin weighs about the same as a can of soda. Puffins lay just 1 egg per year, and usually with the same mate. They nest in burrows that extend about a yard underground. Like some penguins, both parents take turns incubating the egg and caring for the chick. Puffins are expert divers and flappers and may remind some people of the penguin. Their monotone plumage and small wingspan are similarly built. But puffins are actually very capable flyers, and they're not penguins, they're auks. Puffins may chatter up a storm at their breeding colonies, but they remain perfectly silent while at sea. There are currently 8 islands around the world named Puffin Island, named because they all are or were once home to large colonies of puffins. About 60% of the world's puffins breed in Iceland. A puffin can fly as fast as 55 miles an hour. Compared with other auks, which tend to stay just a few feet above the sea, puffins usually maintain a flying altitude of about 30 feet. Puffins are also expert divers and swimmers. They flap their wings to swim underwater and can dive to depths of 200 feet in search of fish. Puffins are one of the few birds that have the ability to hold several small fish in their bills at a time. Their raspy tongues and spiny palates allow them to firmly grasp up to a dozen fish during one foraging trip. Puffin parents take turns fishing and delivering their catch back to the nest for their chick. The joint of their beaks are notched so they can hang on to their catch even while diving back in open-mouthed to get more fish.
young bald eagle. Judging by the amount of white in its coat of feathers, this one's a 3 or 4 year old. No, they come out here. They don't hunt seal pups, but some of the pups won't survive. And with all the seal births going on out here, there's often afterbirth to clean up. So the eagles will come out here to scavenge as well as to hunt. Another month or so, as the seagull eggs near 3 feet tall, with a wingspan that will be about 7 to 8 feet. Juveniles have a broader wingspan than the adults. The longer feathers make up for the lack of muscle in the young. And yeah, all over, dozens of seals in the rocks from here going forward towards the lighthouse. While their fur is generally going to be any shade of gray, bald eagle just took flight, by the way, flying away towards the lighthouse. They look a little more brownish. They're looking around, see some of them wiggling. But if you focus on some of the ones that are very still, you notice you don't see their chest repeatedly rise and fall. They don't breathe the way we do. They're a conscious breather. They have to be awake and alert to breathe. So they never sleep 100%. They have a split brain. Part of their brain can rest, while the other part of their brain operates their muscles, reminds them to breathe once in a while. But even out of the water, up on land, they only take a breath when they need to. If you focus in close, you see the whiskers around their muzzle, like land cat or lion. Not only can they feel, now when they dive 10 feet or 20 feet, they have good eyesight and that's fine. When they dive 100, 200, 300 feet in dark, murky northern water, even good eyesight is useless.
My goodness,
so they use sound and vibration to print.
Here, Mom.
In fact, full-grown adult harbor seals have been found in the wild living in late summer. We're less likely to see very many adults. The adults will go offshore, hunt the herring and fill their bellies. The adults will lose 20%, 30% of their body weight in spring and early summer during puffin and mating season. You got to gain that back before winter.